Hey guys, my name is Third Eye, and today I'll be narrating the whole story of Frank Sinatra and his relationship with the Mafia. So get your popcorn and get comfortable as well, cause this video is gonna be very long. I'm very pleased to announce that I won't be alone this time. I've brought two of my friends, Aito and it's Idiz.
Sup fam?
What's good?
But before we go any further, make sure you subscribe to my channel if you like my videos, and if you have any idea for a future video about music, comment it down below. I think we can all agree that Frank Sinatra is and will forever be a legend. Not only he was an excellent singer, but also a fantastic artist. All his hits have turned into absolute classics over time, and as a music pioneer, he was always known as the voice. I'm really sorry to say this, but as with literally every artist in the world, not everything about him is good. There's always some fucked up shit behind.
Every public figure is involved in controversy at least once in their lives. Frankie is not an excuse. In his case, he was sus because he had really dangerous friendships, and even though he always said he had never committed any crime and had never been involved in one, it has been confirmed that at some point in his life, he had been familiar with these crimes.
Frank Sinatra had a very difficult childhood. His father, known as Marty O'Brien, was a boxer, and his mother, known as Dolly, ran an illegal abortion business, for which she was put in prison. When he was a teen, he was part of a gang, and therefore began to have problems with the police. He also dropped out of high school without graduating because of his rowdy conduct and therefore worked several times. In 1932, he married Nancy Barbato and had children with her. A short time later, Willie Moretti, boss of the mafia of that city, and him became good friends thanks to his wife's friends.
Moretti helped him a lot by leaving Sinatra's career clean and free of risks and controversies. In November of 1939, in a meeting in Chicago, Sinatra was asked by band leader Tommy Dorsey to join his band as a replacement for one member. Sinatra, of course, accepted, and by singing with his band, he managed to increase his visibility with the American public. In 1942, he wanted to begin his career as a solo artist, but the contract Sinatra had signed with Tommy Dorsey prevented him from doing so. Moretti did Sinatra a favor, threatening Dorsey by saying that he would kill him if he didn't cancel the contract he had signed with Sinatra. Here, the first rumors about his involvement with the Mafia started, as this story appeared in the Hearst newspapers. Later on, in 1951, Moretti was assassinated by his own clan.
Thanks to his childhood friend, Sinatra came into contact with Charles Lucky Luciano, the greatest mobster in all of America. During the 1930s to 1940s, Luciano became a respected, dangerous, and cunning mobster. In 1946, Frank Sinatra came into the Havana with an excuse. He said that he was going to witness a tribute of his in the National Hotel, but his real intentions were assisting to a meeting of American Mafia, the main Mafia, Sicilian Mafia.
The purpose of his meeting was to set the rules and the business that was supposed to be respected. 1947 was the year in which Frank generously gave Luciano more than $3 million in 50 bills for doing his job in a perfect way, giving Charles the opportunity to rise his desired empire in Cuba.
In return for his favors, Luciano made sure that the secrets of Sinatra wouldn't see the light. Luciano hid the bipolarity and violent behavior Sinatra had had with his partners and lovers. Later on, at the beginning of the 50s, his career went into decline and his style of music started to be considered outdated. Many unfortunate facts and events from Sinatra's private life became public, leaving him with a bad image.
His success as an actor saved him, as many famous directors wanted to work with him. By the way, this is pretty funny because nowadays he would have been cancelled for life, but that little thing saved him completely. The case of Harry Cohn was different because when Sinatra himself asked for a position in his casting, he rejected it as he considered him a mediocre person. Sinatra was furious and asked Luciano for his help. Luciano then went to Cohn and forced him to accept Sinatra for his movie, threatening him with his death.
Sinatra managed to win 8 Oscars with the movie directed by Cohn. The awards were Best Movie, Best Director, and Best Supporting Actor for Frank, to name a few. From that point on in his career began the so-called Golden Era, because becoming an Oscar-winning actor helped him regain his position as a top recording artist in the world.
In 1953, he signed a contract with Capitol Records and therefore succeeded again with his music. His new material featured darker and more emotional feelings, so it felt like he was reinventing himself. In the entire decade of the 50s, he released classics such as In the Wee Small Hours, Frank Sinatra Sings for Only the Lonely, Swing Easy, or Come Fly With Me.
After some time, he joined the Rat Pack, a group of friends who were dedicated to drinking, smoking, and playing cards.
If I find out that's true, my heart is broken.
The members were Dean Martin, Joel Bishop, Peter Lawford, Sammy Davis Jr., and several others. Additionally, Luciano and Sinatra's relationship became extremely close, and therefore Frank visited him in Cuba and later in Italy. Luciano finished exiled and guarded by the authorities until his death in 1962.
Frank Sinatra contacted Joseph F. Kennedy, father of the United States Senator at that time, through Sam Giancana, chief of the biggest mafia in Chicago, who immediately got 120,000 votes for Kennedy that made him win against Richard Nixon, the opponent of the Republican Party. In 1961, John became the President of the United States, being seen as an ungrateful person by the mafia for not thanking Giancana.
Sometime later, Sinatra tried to distance away from Sam, who made the decision of killing him. He finally changed his mind, but the one who passed away turned out to be John F. Kennedy, who was shot twice in Dallas by someone whose identity is still unknown. Sinatra avoided problems by giving up his hotel, Cal Neva, which belonged to him, but in which Sam Giancana had been hosted previously.
On December 8th of 1963, Frank Sinatra Jr., the son of Frank Sinatra, was kidnapped by 3 people. He was abducted for about 54 hours until his father paid $240,000 for his release. The House Select Committee on Crime noticed Frank's dark past and his links with the mafia. In 1972, he was finally summoned to testify in court, and it was confirmed that his relationship with organized crime bosses in the past had been certain. Luckily, no evidences that involved him in specific crimes were found, so he did not suffer any consequences for that.
Frank the Voice Sinatra kept singing until his death on the 14th of May 1998. That happened due to a heart attack. Since then, his legacy has been maintained to this day, and he continues to be considered a legend despite his dark past.
That was it for this week's video.
By the way, this British accent was completely fake. Make sure to check out my Instagram at itowastaken.
You can subscribe to my YouTube channel, it's Idiz, if you want more music-related videos, mainly about rappers rather than old-school musicians.
Before ending this video completely, I want to tell you that this video was not made in any way to ruin the image of Frank. I just thought it would be interesting to learn about the story, in order to know a little better how he was in his private life. Of course, please keep sharing and listening to his music, because even though he had a difficult and dark life, he was still the voice. Happy birthday, Frank. May your music and your legacy be remembered respectfully and forever.